Hello. Okay. I'm waiting because I'm supposed to start at 7 o'clock and nobody starts a tea party early. I'm also going to, well, I was going to take off my glasses, but then I can't read, so you guys might have to deal with the glare. Tell me if it's horrible. Okay. One more minute and then it's tea party time. I can't wait. And I can't wait to really share the link between a tea party and detoxification. Maybe it's the T, detoxification, detoxification. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Ashley Koff. I'm a registered dietitian. I am so grateful to Lucky Vitamins for having me here today. I love the store. So many of my favorite products are there, including Brassica Tea, our host for this evening, and I'm really excited to kick this tea party off with them. A couple of things you should know. First of all, I am a one-woman show tonight, so anything that goes wrong or if this is shaky or any of that stuff, it's all on me, and I'm doing my best. That said, if you have any comments, please share them for me. I will be reading those. I might not be able to do this, hold the camera, and answer the questions. In fact, certainly not by typing them. So I'm going to make it so that I can answer the questions after. And remember, if you're watching this after, like as in not live, that's totally cool too, because I can answer the questions there. If you have questions in the future, you can always reach me at my website, ashleycoffapproved.com, where I have the Better Nutrition membership. So anyway, and do tell me if this glare is bothering you. I was doing it so that I could see, but hopefully we are good and going. So this time of year, and in fact, usually in about, I would say, early December, mid-December, depending on what part of the country I'm in and who I'm talking to, I get asked a question comes up with detox is I think that people have this idea, and totally rightfully so, because we've been presented this idea that we need to like go on a detox, right? Like, uh-oh, I've been toxing, so I need to go on a detox. Well, the reality is that actually you should be detoxing every doggone day. That's right. From the time that you're born, you know, we are born with a detoxification system. It doesn't get as much attention as some of our other systems. Like, we give a lot of attention to our heart, maybe. We certainly, especially as we age, we give a lot of attention to our skin, you know, and things like that. And the reality is that our detoxification system is actually enabling those and a huge part of those. So as we talk about detoxification today, and in particular about true detoxification, because I got a myth bust, there are a lot of myths out there, we are going to start to debunk and get clear on why it's so important that we detox all the time. And to do that, I want to remind everyone that we have my wonderful host sponsors today, True Brock, but actually Brassica Tea. So Brassica Tea is a delicious tea that is powered by True Brock, which has glucoraphanin. And glucoraphanin we're going to get into because it is so critical to supporting our body's detoxification. Okay, so let's start off with the body. So the body I mentioned has a detoxification system. And the detoxification system is totally equipped to do what it needs to do. So what does that system need to do? Well, it needs to identify and remove or mark for elimination toxins. Now, we hear the word toxins all the time and we think like, ooh, toxins, are those chemicals that might be sprayed onto food, or ooh, are they toxins that are in the air, you know, that we're outside and something is creating pollutants, or are they toxins maybe we've heard about that are in, you know, some of the products that underneath that we clean our houses with, or, you know, in certain places, ooh, or are there toxins? Somebody told me that actually things like hormones, when they're used up, that those could become toxic in our body if we don't eliminate them. And guess what? All of those. You're starting to understand why we have to detox every single day, because all of those we're exposed to. The cool part is when we support our detoxification system, it's not that we forget or can say like, oh, bring on the toxins, because the body, you know, we can only get so much of a job done, even if we have everything we need. But the cool part is we can worry, we can stress less, which is actually great for our digestive system, and interestingly, really great for our detoxification system. So the key thing that I want you to take away today are a couple. I'll start with number one, that the body has a detoxification system. So I want you to repeat that, and I want you to think about your own body as needing to detox all the time. You have a system. So when I get the question, hey, should kids detox? Oh, you bet. They are born with a detoxification just like we are. And I just saw that, wow, LuckyVitamin has an actual special right now on Brassica tea. It looks like it's 37% off. I'm not sure where the 37 came in, but you can get it for $5.66, which is awesome, because a lot of times I'm actually trying to get the glucoraphanin in by way of a supplement, and a tea is so much nicer and actually less expensive. And I'm going to show you some great things to do with those teas, so get ready for that. Okay, so we're back to our detoxification system. There's something else that we can do. We can work to reduce our exposure on a daily basis to toxins, right? So don't be alarmed. Don't send me the scary face. You're totally cool. The thing is that we can try to eat better. You know, things like trying to have organic more often, or we can try, and especially for the things that we consume all the time, right? Or we can try to eat more fruits and vegetables, and we can try to eat more plants in general, and we can also try to reduce our stress load, and we can try to improve the quality of products that we use on our bodies, as well as under the counter, all of those things. So there are ways certainly to reduce our exposure. But let's be clear, I don't want you like not going outside because you're worried about air pollution. And I think that, you know, I want us to be able to say to ourselves, like, well, you know, maybe I can't afford organic, or maybe I'm eating out all the time and I just don't have access to it, or things like that. So that's where our detoxification system comes in. Okay, so now I thought that I would also give my arms and my body a little bit of a break, and I'm going to turn around and show you one of my favorite detox options. If I've got this right, we are walking over. This is my house. I have no idea why there's a coffee machine in there. I didn't put that there. There's my coffee machine, and there is my tea. I love purple. I don't know if you guys love purple, and there are my dog biscuits. But the purple over there, that's my tea maker. Okay, so I want you to get to know these, and as I said, these are on sale right now. So the Brassica tea, you can see, comes in a bunch of different flavors. So we've got green tea. We also have decaffeinated. That's going to play a key role in some of my recipes. I speak fast anyway, so you guys are all really grateful that I did not have caffeinated tea. I had decaf tea right now. But we have, you can see, black, green teas, and we have two different kinds. There's the Chinese sencha tea, and also one that's got, as you can come over here, and it's a little bit better in the picture, with orange peel added for a hint of citrus. That's going to be really fun when you start to play around with recipes. And tonight I'm going to show you some of my favorites, but I also wanted to direct you to the True Brock website, because with the at the True Brock website, we have some amazing recipes on there. I love, one of the dietitians that I know did one on using this tea and poached pears. Incredible. And then I know we're not talking about coffee right now, but how can we not talk about coffee? I love coffee, and coffee, there's actually a coffee avocado pudding on there, which gets you that detoxification. So how does it detox? And here's what I want to do. I want to hone in on, tea is amazing for us, and we can talk about all the benefits of tea if you want, just let me know. But I want to hone in on True Brock, powerful antioxidant protection. So if you've heard about an antioxidant before, send me a note and let me know what you think an antioxidant is. I'm going to give you my short answer, that an antioxidant is actually part of our body's and nature's cleanup system. So it's a protection, and it's also a cleanup. So for example, I want you to think of this. When blueberries grow in nature, or when tea leaves grow in nature, they need to protect themselves against certain harmful toxins, and also they try to fight off pests. And when that happens, what we want to make sure is that the way that they do that is that they have enough antioxidants. So the oxidation is a hint at what, when we're antioxidant, the oxidation is a hint at those toxins. And what happens in our body is that actually normal processes, like great things like working out, maybe not such great things like being stressed for, you know, doing a good job on your Facebook Live or any of these other things, but those things that they can all produce oxidation, and so can other things. You know, we've talked about making sure that we don't cook our fats at too high of a temperature if we're using oils. We don't want those to be rancid or for those to oxidize. And so what we want to remember is that oxidation is sort of another word for toxins. And those are things that we want to work on getting rid of. So when we're getting rid of those, how do we do that? Well, that's part of what the detoxification system is designed to do. What it does is it's going to identify things that need to be eliminated. But then many of them that they identify are in forms that need to be eliminated, but they can't yet be eliminated. So one of the ones that I want you to think about, for example, is maybe like I've mentioned the used hormones. I've also mentioned that there could be toxins, for example, things that are sprayed on out in the environment, chemicals that we encounter, things that are in the air, and those can be in a fat-soluble form. In order to be eliminated, they need to be in a water-soluble form. And so here's what happens. Actually, what really happens is if I go over to my freezer, I can also show you too. My dog may come over because he eats this every single day. And what he eats every day are broccoli florets. So it's totally awesome, by the way. If you eat broccoli florets every single day, you get a high five. Please send me a note. Oh, good. I'm noticing that thank you for telling me that you also eat broccoli florets every day. And yes, I do get my dog broccoli florets, and he eats them straight from the freezer. But that's because, so I always thought broccoli was awesome, but then I learned that broccoli has this unique, as we talked about, powerful antioxidant protection. And what it's called is glucoraphanin. Now, sometimes it's confusing. You may have heard the term sulforaphane. Maybe not. Maybe that's not dinner table conversation or party conversation where you are, but in my world it is. But that's actually incorrect. And so the good thing to know is that broccoli, like other cruciferous vegetables, has a variety of glucosinolates. But glucoraphanin, broccoli florets contain the highest amount of that glucoraphanin. And that glucoraphanin is going to be what supports that phase 2 detoxification in your body. That is the one that is going to help take those toxins and break them down or manipulate them into that water-soluble form so that they can be eliminated. So the key thing that I want us to think about is as we're detoxing, we want to get in more glucoraphanin. And so yes, you absolutely can, and you totally should, for a whole host of reasons, eat broccoli. Ideally, you eat broccoli every day. Even for me, broccoli is my favorite food, and yes, I'm totally that geeky nutritionist. It has nothing to do with it. I just happen to love broccoli. But even for me, I don't get broccoli in every day. But the reality is that our detoxification system is so important, and it needs it every day, that's why I looked, and I started discovering this a few years back. I looked for a supplement that would provide me that glucoraphanin benefit. So just like I take a probiotic, just like I get my vitamin D in, look, I love to eat wild salmon, I love to eat mushrooms, but I don't get in enough vitamin D doing that, and so I take supplemental vitamin D. And that's the way I think about supplemental glucoraphanin. The fact that it comes in a tea is just totally awesome. And the reason is it makes it so easy to consume. Now, when I get to talk about detoxification in teas, I get to talk about every single one of my favorite topics. Digestion, pretty hair, skin, and nails. I get to talk about better energy. I get to talk about better weight loss. I get to talk about better moods. I get to talk about better sleep. You name it. There are so many benefits. So for example, let's say that it's the new year and you're trying to work on weight loss. And you said, what's something that I can do? Well, I could eat less food, but it's hard. I'm used to eating a certain amount. Well, did you know that green tea actually has a mild appetite suppressant? So if you sip on green tea and you have it before your meal, you have it with your meal, it's actually going to be working with you for detoxification. Okay, I'm going to come over here and say hi. Hope everyone is enjoying this, and remember to please send me any of your questions so that I can be answering them. As I said, I'll answer them here if I can see them. Otherwise, I will. Oh, I've already missed 2. Okay, but otherwise I will answer them afterwards on Lucky Vitamin's Facebook page. And there's also right now, I want to remind you that you can shop Brassica tea on sale now at LuckyVitamin.com. So what we want to be thinking about as we start to think about how you can get in more of the great detoxification benefits of glucoraphanin. Where does it come from in the highest amount? That's right, broccoli florets. The florets, little flower parts, the top parts. But here's the problem. Not all broccoli contains the same amount. And also, I love to do a lot of things to my broccoli. I don't really boil them. I'm not a big fan of boiled vegetables. I think that like working in a hospital got me out of that quite a long time ago. But I do love to roast them, and I love to cook them for a really long time. And unfortunately, that means I can cook a lot of the glucoraphanin out. So again, the broccoli is still amazing for you, and I just love it. It tastes great. It looks pretty. But in order to get enough glucoraphanin, that's why I turn to the supplement part. Okay, now what I want to do is come over to some ideas for how to get in enough, get in your daily dose. And you can do all of these using the tea, and you can pick any of the teas. I'll talk about some of my favorites in a moment. So I'm going to start over here. So what I have in here is just, I make, and I do this probably all summer long, I take 4 to 5 tea bags and I fill, and I boil, that's about, I think it's about 16 ounces. It might be 20 ounces of water. And then I make that, and then I put that into my refrigerator, and I have iced tea. I actually love to drink what I call room temp tea, which is iced tea that I let sit out or refrigerated tea that I let sit out for all year long. But I didn't want to show you, there's no reason to show you iced tea right now, and there's also no reason to show you my tea popsicles, but they're amazing and really fun. Okay, so remember I said you can sip on the green tea and then you get your True Brock in. And then over here I have one of my favorites, which is, by the way, I just love the Hydro Flask. It's like my new fun bottle to go around with. I don't have any relationship with them. I just love it, so I should put that in there. And what I did there is I have that, the nice part about it is if you want hot tea or cold tea, you can have it in there. And then I just grabbed, what's this, the RX bar. I happen to have this. I get sent a lot of products, and I really like this one because they put the ingredients right on the front. So that one's a great, pre or post workout. One of the reasons I like it pre-workout is that if I'm having the caffeine actually helps me, it helps with fat burning, it helps motivate me for my exercise too. So that part's really good. Okay, speaking of motivate me for my exercise, and then speaking of relaxation, you'll see my Natural Calm. So one of my favorite tips, and you guys, if you travel, listen to me on this one. I take Natural Calm every single night. However, I especially take it in my hot tea, caffeinated or not. I take it in my hot tea at night while I'm on a plane or if I'm on a train. And the reason is, especially when you're flying, that all that pressure and a lot of that sitting, so if you're sitting all day long, it can really keep your body both, it's not from a stress standpoint, but it's muscle tension. And so this really helps with muscle relaxation. So Natural Calm from Natural Vitality, one of my absolute favorites. And you can just add that right into your tea. In fact, I have that with, if I haven't had my True Brock during the day, I have that with decaffeinated, the decaffeinated version in the afternoon or the early evening, most nights actually. Okay, and over here, hemp is one of my favorites. I put this here just as a reminder that if you're making a smoothie, I think too often we forget about how great tea, even coffee, remember I showed you those coffees, how great those can be for, after a workout, great from a liquid nutrition standpoint. But when you add tea and coffee as your base, you're actually not using up a carbohydrate. What that means is, like if I was putting coconut water as the base of my smoothie, then I don't get to put any fruit, especially if I'm trying to work on my weight or I'm trying to really balance my carbohydrates, maybe if I'm pre-diabetic or just, focused on the sugar content. So if I'm making my smoothie and I want to use I use the tea or the coffee, then I can put, I could either put in there a banana, or I could put in berries, or I could do half a banana and some berries, etc. And then I love my hemp protein, which also provides fiber, essential fatty acids, etc. So I have here one of my favorite snacks. I've got my hummus and vegetables. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about here is that a lot of times what people will do as a snack is they'll have this and then they'll order an Arnold Palmer, right? Or they'll say like, oh, I'm going to have that as a snack and then I'm going to get a latte. But the problem with doing that is that your hummus is actually a carbohydrate. And so the hummus being a carbohydrate means that, again, if you're trying to balance your nutrients for better energy, for better weight, if you're trying to lose belly fat, like any of these things, then you're better off actually having the tea and your hummus and vegetables. But if you want your Arnold Palmer, which I love to do, then I like to take my coconut water and I put it into, right there I already have some of that tea that I made, and I put it in there, and then I snack on some nuts. And that's a great way for me to have a nutrient balance. The carbohydrate, the proteins, the healthy fats, and so moving over, I also have one of my favorites. The bowl is empty because it's evening. I'm not ready to make my oatmeal, although I could make it as overnight oats, so I will say that. But another one of my favorite oatmeals, and in particular this one because it's a creamy coconut from Kia. And by the way, it's National Oatmeal Month too, so it's a great one. So superfood for lasting energy, chia, buckwheat, hemp, coconut. And so when I put the black brassica tea in there, oh my gosh, it's so delicious. And so I just do that in place of the water. It's super easy. These are all fun, like, you know, in the amount of time that I've taken to show you them on Facebook Live, we could all have them and enjoy them. And they're ones that I work into most of my days in order to get better nutrition, beginning with better detox. So I did have a question come in also on, do kids need to detox too? And I talked a little bit about this at the beginning. So first of all, we want to be conscious of caffeine with kids. So make sure that if you're doing the brassica tea, which is awesome for kids, just do the decaf tea. And they actually will love the Better Arnold Palmer. And they might, maybe not the creamy coconut, but there are a couple of other flavors, although there are a lot of kids that have adventurous taste buds these days. So they might enjoy that one and just using the decaf tea. And certainly if you've got older kids and they're starting to hit the caffeine, it is a great time for them to be getting the benefits, not just of caffeine from the tea, but also to be getting the benefits of our friend from brassica, the True Broc, which is going to give them those detoxification benefits. And you know, one of the things I think is so critical when we look at diseases today and we look at the flip side of what we all really want, which is better health, is that we do need to pay more attention to ensuring that the body gets in enough of the nutrients to support its detoxification. It's frustrating to me when I read programs, you know, in the magazines, or I see them online, or I see people Instagramming something. Look, I'm the first to love a greens juice, or I'm the first to love drinking, you know, liquids and saying like, oh, let me give my digestion some relaxation, all of that. But if I'm not giving my body the nutrients that it needs for detoxification, I'm actually creating a bigger detoxification problem. So I think when you're evaluating any detox, I want you to keep that in mind. There are certain nutrients that the body needs in order to support its own detoxification. The second piece on top of that is if your digestive system is not working well, if you're not going to the bathroom, if you're not going to the bathroom regularly, etc., then that also means that even if the detoxification system is identifying the toxins and it's marking them for elimination, they're not going to be eliminated as successfully, and that's going to be a problem for us over the long term. So one of the things that I do on my website is, and as part of the membership, is I have for you a quick menu on detoxification, a quick evaluation on detoxification, and I have longer lessons that actually teach you about a lot of the ingredients that are needed and that how we can blend them all together. But if I have to pick my favorite, I'm going to come over and I'm going to come back to True Broc. I could show you the broccoli again in my freezer. But remember, broccoli is so important for you because it has that glucoraphanin, which is what is going to support phase 2 detoxification. Just think of it, you don't even have to know phase 1, phase 2. Just think of it as what it needs. So I think that's about it. I know I talked fast, but hopefully we all got it in there. I see, yes. Totally. So somebody's asking if it's okay to detox and still work out. Absolutely. So I think one of the reasons that you're asking that question, and I get this a lot, and that's because you're thinking of going on a detox, or what I sometimes call a starve tox, because it means that a lot of these programs are just starving and maybe giving you, you know, like a couple of sips of greens, this, etc. So first of all, your detox can be absolutely delicious, and it should be energizing, not like a euphoria from having not eaten, but an energizing, like, okay, my body has the nutrients it needs to get the job done. And the way that we do that is we do that with, a bunch of these different options that I showed you. So for example, if you drink your tea and you have your hummus with your cucumber, then you're going to do a totally awesome job in your workout. And after your workout, you could make a smoothie using your hemp protein powder, and then you could do the coconut water. You could even use those cashews. You could have started the day with the coconut. And all of this, by the way, is going to be that better detox. So I think that part is key. Somebody was asking me about supplements. There are wonderful supplements that contain glucoraphanin. And the key thing is to look for the ingredient True Broc. See that beautiful little broccoli logo there? So look for the True Brock logo, and one of the things that you can do is actually go to the website truebrock.com, and they have a link on there of different products that you can get and have access to. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm at ashleykoffApproved.com, and I'm also on my own Facebook page at Ashley Koff Approved. So thank you to Lucky Vitamins for sharing that on there as well. So I think that's a wrap for us this evening. I just want to thank you to everyone. I really appreciated this opportunity. It was really fun to have you in my kitchen. You can see over there I have some it's Dr. Bronner's. These are all the things that I have so that I reduce my toxin load. If you have any questions about those or other products, please reach out to me. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful, wonderful evening. So thank you.